Kātohi atu ke, ki te tohi nuku, ki te tohi rangi. Kia hoia ia koe ki te pūti ki whara, kia tia ia koe ki te maniriri rangi, te rau tītapa, e haere I runga rā. I ranga haua koe no te pūriri no te pōtangatanga. I rākai tia koe te piki kōta ki te rau o te toro te hui e tītanga. Whākina e ta manga kupu o te riri ngā kupu o ta whiti he mea kā maua. Ka kapiti runga e, ka kapiti raro e, he poka manaki, he poka ngāri, pauhi ko paurarama. Tia hoi I roto, marama I roto tēnei te pau tuku mana, te pau e nei koe. Hau I te ora, hau I te marama, whano, harama I te ao, haumi, uie, tāki. So the Aratini came about because the government had formed a Māori working group on economics. And they thought economics was just in training, skill-based and small business. But we said no, economics was about travelling and trading with the world. And so we've been pursuing the fact that tikanga and ohanga equals oranga. That when our people sailed in the past, they were looking for new trading opportunities, new technology, new relationships, new visions, insights into other cultures, and they traded as well. But our tipuna had been well travelled and well versed in the means and the nuances of the world at that time.
I really believe there was some kind of connection in terms of comms, trading and all those kind of things from here all the way along through Southeast Asia and all that. And I reckon that somewhere down in the past our tupuna must have run into each other once or twice. It seems that every road in the world comes to this place. This seems to have been the hub of a lot of kaupapa back in the day. So yeah, Te Aratini is that whole idea of coming together, whanaungatanga, doing stuff, sharing things.
Back in 2018 was the first time a Māori delegation came to Dubai, went out into the desert and met with Bedouin tribes people to talk about and understand the similarities between the cultures and where there may be opportunities for further dialogue.
The New Zealand delegation just covers the spectrum of all sectors. We've got skills of master navigators, you know, our original entrepreneurs and innovators. We have people who are masterful in the Aoreo.
We said to ourselves at that time, the new language of business in Aotearoa would be te reo. And people would want to use te reo at all times because it's the only thing that authenticates any business in this country from any other business in the world. And that's what we think about us taking our taonga to the world. We're not taking just commodities or products, we're taking a whakapapa. A year ago, the leaders of the Expo said, "You're, who's it?" They said, because the theme is Koau Te Awa, Te Awa Koau. And it's Māori personifying the rivers and the mountains and the sea that we want to portray as New Zealanders. And if we can do it, then Indigenous and tribal people all around the world can be recognised to do the same thing.
The World Expo, which New Zealand is part of 192 countries that participate. Te Aratini is the first Indigenous symposium to ever be hosted at a World Expo.
One of the big challenging things is actually creating a forum for Indigenous people to talk to one another. Even though we've got a different starting point, when I think about the innovation that's happening amongst Māori, EXPO'S can help lift the lids and unleash the potential that we have, and we just got to make the right hookups and connections.
Convergence of an Indigenous and tribal kōrero. But really this is about introducing ourselves, I think, to each other.
Bojo Wabananongo clan das Nakaza Bazeshin do Dam Anishinaabe clan da.
Na Nuegambi, Anuga Diwigdi Valiente, Andule, Gunaya Laginet.
Bokie Bianca Orqueda, it's Chamstina Jabe.
Kulele mai me honga wawa o koto hapai me tonga.
Au tukashla, toka agluhuni macha pilo.
E kua ka marangaranga, ko tahi manu I tau ki te tahuna, tau atu, tau atu, tau atu.
When we invited the world to Expo, we did so with the expectation that together we might build a new world. One that is a cleaner, safer, healthier, and more equitable. Yet only through giving a platform to all voices can we hope to provoke a truly global conversation equipped to address urgent and universal challenges and opportunities. Put simply, if we are not all together in the collective pursuit of human dignity, then none of us will truly progress.
The time is now for us to speak for ourselves, to reclaim our narratives, and to reimagine how we exist in the future, because we're more than just survival. Our people, it's a time for us to thrive.
We see that our role within our communities is to be able to navigate as Maui once did through the oceans of technology and what that means, but mainly because a lot of the stuff that we're creating is grounded in the integrity of our cultures and who we are as individuals and people.
Focus on your community and less focus on a movie or a dictionary or an app or a book, but it's all about human connection and bringing the family together and to grow strong in the language together.
Expression, right, and creative expression, and building on what we have for the creative economy, for cultural economy, because that's really the fundamentals. Our stories are where we start from, right, and they're where we're grounded.
It's your duty to serve those in your community and to help those around you. And so I think that being at an event like this and having this moment where after 2 years of immense trauma for our Indigenous communities, to be able to come together and uplift one another.
The weight of the work that we undertake as Indigenous peoples and Indigenous artists, it's heavy to carry, but what we do have to do is ensure that we don't leave too much on the shoulders of the next generation.
Our children, trying to make it so that they step into a platform where they don't have to look back as much as we did.
The shared baskets that we all bring as different nations from around the world, and together we can feast.
So we hope that people are thinking in a more positive, forward way about how we live on this planet, how we live with one another, and that involves embracing our diversity and our complexity, which is nowhere better represented than through our Indigenous languages and cultures.
Shalom bish holy topama ishminti polacha hatakil basha pia ishpiok polashki anholo 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 finashki Siato bati hinlitok an holo finashki.
For us to be able to sit down with someone that's experienced Aikoturoa, it was cool to be able to see him connect with local people that have a similar thoughts and ideas around navigation that he does, with connecting with Dr. Hassan.
It was a good opportunity for us to let him share some of the tikanga and some of the kōrero of his people, to be able to make references about an ancestor who many people believe in his great explorations came all the way over here. I think it was a very special time.
It was amazing to work alongside and spend time with our New Zealand delegates. And so we were invited to go out into the middle of the sands and spend time with a whānau out there with Omar and his whānau in Ropu, and just experience their level of manakitanga.
It's important for us to do this mahi and to continue the work of Te Aratini because our view's long. So we start to build the platforms now for our children, our grandchildren into the future.
We all measure success in different ways, whether it be the success of a city like Dubai, the economy that they've been able to build. Ultimately, it's about really showing us what is possible through dreaming about what is impossible, but actually what is doable. And that's what I really take heart from the experience of the Indigenous peoples of this country.
More often than not, Indigenous groups are not given the kind of respect that they really deserve for the kind of understanding of commerce, trading and economics that they actually have. And for us as Māori, we're still working through this whole idea of what does a real partnership look like. And so often, even though there's opportunities in Aotearoa, there's not enough resource for these opportunities to come to fruition. And part of that is around the whole idea of not being in full control of everything that we have. Our ancestors didn't come to Aotearoa for us to be mediocre. They came to Aotearoa to give us the best chances that we could find, and it's our job to do that.
So I say one of the biggest vacuums in the world, especially with Indigenous or ethnic people, is the loss of their land, language in rapid fashion. It took us 200 years to get to that, and a slow revival back to where we are, a slow renaissance. But we can help people of the world rejuvenate their language, their cultural skills, as well as become commercial. Emiratis is the role model, from hunter-gatherers, fishing, to now one of the sort of super hubs of the world. They still have their tribal traditions. They still have their structure of whānau hapu. And now the Emiratis are kotahitanga. And we are built on that. And that's what we just got to keep doing, persisting, and not buy into any other stories about who we are. We tell our own stories.